Happy New Year. We have a new year with new beginnings, and I am totally looking forward to it. I also want to share some of the gifts that my clients have sent me or that I've got. These beautiful flowers, this money tree, and I got some other stuff. And I'm just very thankful to be in this field and to have people that just appreciate what I do and how I help them because it's a pleasure for me to serve them. All right, so in today's video, as a tech VA, you'll often have clients asking you, like, what's the best CRM for my business? And as a new VA, you may not know that answer up front, and that's okay. That's why I'm here to help you out. So, in case you don't know who I am, my name is Roxanne, and I am the founder of Marketing Tech Mama. And it is my mission with this YouTube channel to help 100 moms work from home as a tech VA in the digital marketing industry. So, okay, when a client asks this question, right, there really isn't a one size fit all answer, but I can help you help the client figure out which CRM is best for them. So, I went ahead and created 8 questions that you can ask the clients to help them find an answer that's best for them. Okay. So let's go ahead and get it. All right, let's get it. So the question number one that you're really going to ask them is, how do you bring in leads? Right? So, how do you generate leads, bring in leads? I'll say generate. How do you generate leads? And this is really important as well because, right, that's the whole point of a CRM. A CRM is you have your leads, it's a database, and you can track the activity, right? That's the whole point of it. So, you really need to know how are you going to bring leads into the CRM? Okay. Question number two is how often will you communicate with the list? Okay. So, how often are you going to communicate with the list? Because if they're like, oh, I'm not going to talk to them that often, and I'm going to just share the answers first because when you have these answers and you're asking them this, it's going to help you, like I said, help them to know which CRM is going to be better for them. So question number 3 now is like, how do you generate sales? Okay. That's what we really need to know. What are you doing right now for that? Because again, knowing their needs is going to help them make a better decision for the CRM that they want to choose. Okay. The question number 4 then is now, are you blogging? Are you blogging? Okay. The next question after that would be, do you want to collect reviews? Some may have that now, some may not, but every business needs reviews, right? All of these questions that I'm asking, everybody needs that. Whether they're using that or not is another thing. That's another situation. But this, again, these are questions that you really need to ask so you can just help them figure out what's the best thing to do. Then the next question, number 6, is so do you want to communicate with people like your leads, your prospect, people on your list through text messaging? Okay, because that's big. That is definitely growing. It is on the rise. Some coaches may be using that and others may not. And if they're not, that's totally okay. But you can ask these questions to start kind of have them start thinking about these things like, oh, I'm not doing this, but these are probably things I need to have in my business. And I'm glad that you're asking me for this stuff. Okay. You can ask them too, do you also ask your clients to book a call with you? Right? That's important because then it's like we have to set up a calendar and what's going to happen after they book. Do we have follow ups? Right? But again, you're asking these questions is going to help them to understand. All right. And the last and final question that we're going to ask them is, what is their budget? That is one of the most important and critical questions that we have on here. What's your budget? Because if they don't have, depending on their budget, that's going to help them determine some of the other items which CRM is actually going to be helpful for them. So, like, out of all these questions, really the most critical ones are 1, 3, and 8, because this will help you guide your clients. Okay. So, number 8, like I said, is obviously their budget. If they don't have enough money, or they have a certain budget that they want to stick in, you need to find a CRM that matches their needs, that can fit their budget. So, for instance, number one is how do you generate leads? So, for coaches, right? Some coaches, and I've definitely seen this, where they'll go to an event, right? They will speak, they will have people write down their information from there, and then they have to like enter it into a CRM and try to follow up that way, right? So that's why it's important to know about how are they even adding people to their leads, right? Because if they say, "Oh, I'm speaking," right? That's question 1, how do they generate leads? Then number 3 is like, "Okay, well, how do you generate sales?" So once you have these people in your CRM, are you trying to get them to book a call with you? Are you trying to get them to buy something? Like, what are you trying to do? Right? Because then that again is going to help you process the sale. So for this example, we're going to just use a coach. Let's say there's a new coach, they're speaking, they generate leads through going to events. Okay, that's what they do. Then they generate sales by getting people to book a call with them. And their budget, they don't really have a big budget. They are not trying to, they don't really want to break the bank. They, even though they're kind of established in what they do, but in coaching, they just want to make sure they run their business very nice and lean. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfect. But so then for something like that, I would say, okay, what's really important for you then is you just need to make sure that once you have these people from your speaking event, you need to put them to your CRM so you can have a follow up to get them to book a call. And however you're currently processing sales now, I would just leave it like that, right? This example of that client, they don't need all the bells and whistles, right? They don't need a lot of heavy duty stuff because right now they're just getting their leads through events and they just want to get their events to book a call with them. And then, however, they're generally processing sales right now, which they'll probably just send them a manual invoice. Now, even in this situation, you would still want to guide the client towards automation and trying to do more things online. But again, that can come further along, right? Don't recommend to start with bells and whistles when they just don't have a need for that right now. We want to help them meet them where they're at right now. So when they get to that spot, right, you're already there working with them and you can help them grow and elevate and do the fancier types of things and the bells and whistles, right, as they are generating more money. And they're like, okay, I'm tired of, trying to do it this way. I want to automate my business more. Okay. So another example of 1 and 3, let's see now, how do you generate leads? We're going to say we have a coach that has a online presence with organic social media. They have a lead magnet and they've just been manually just sharing people, and that's how they generate leads. So they go online, they post, they interact with people, and they tell people, hey, come get my free thing. And people opt in that way, and that's how they generate their leads. And now it's like, well, okay, so that's how you do that. Great. So how do you generate sales? And if they say, well, right now I have a product and I just want them to buy the product. Okay, great. So I know this because now it's like, okay, whatever CRM that I'm using, I need to make sure that we can easily collect payments and we can, identify them and sort them in the CRM to know, hey, these people actually bought something from me, right? You see how the needs change based off of how these questions are answered. Now, mind you, all of these questions are important, but 1, 3, and 8 are going to be the biggest things, right? Because if they have that and they say, okay, I have this is the product that I'm selling, my budget's a little more, right? And my goals in the future are I want to be able to kind of scale this in a bigger way. Well, at least they got a good foot if they already have a funnel that they're using to generate leads and they have a product. But, a lot of times people can put things all over the place and they just want to have one place to put everything. Okay. So this can help them with that. So I'm going to go over each of these questions. Like I said, how do you generate leads? How are they bringing people into their CRM is very important. How often do they communicate with their list? Because some people want to do it daily. I know that's a lot, but it's out there. Some people are okay with once a week. Some people are okay with once a month, right? I would definitely say, I mean, my recommended timeline is at least once a month, no more than a couple times a week, right? I know some people that do it daily, and it's like it just clouds the inbox, right? Are people really going to look at it? But anyway, you may not be there to guide them on that part because that's a little more on the strategic part as far as their frequency. You're just trying to find out because if you're going to be emailing a lot, right? If they're going to be emailing a lot, that's going to be good to know, right? Their needs are going to be different from someone who's just going to email their list once a month. Okay. It's not as heavy of a bandwidth of volume of emails that they're going to send. We already talked about generating sales because then you're going to need to know, do I need to find a CRM that can process and collect payment information and for me to easily identify them and sort them, right? That's what we're trying to figure out. And then the fourth one is blogging. And that's important too, because depending on what recommendation you can have, right, when they're blogging, because if they're like, hey, I'm actively blogging, then you need to have a CRM that has a nice blog, right? That's something to think about. If they're like, well, I don't really do that, that's not part of my strategy, then hey, you don't have to worry about that, right? Cancel that, keep moving, and move on to the next question. So number five is collecting reviews because when you're collecting reviews, it's just always good to be able to showcase that social proof to let people know that you're doing a good job. Or if you're not doing a good job, what can you do to improve? So for myself, for instance, with my clients, I have a service, I call it a service feedback form because I really want to know, are they happy with the work that I did or are they not happy? And if they are not happy with the work that I did, that's okay. Let me know because I want to be better. What can I do to make it right for you? But if I don't have these reviews, I would never know. Right. And then I always ask for permission, like, can I use this as a testimonial? Can I use this, for marketing? And they will say yes, right? You do a good job. They're not going to have a problem with that at all. But there is a way to automate that. A lot of coaches probably don't even ask for that. It's probably manual when they remember, right? So if you have somebody that's like, you know what, I really want that process more automated to collect reviews for me so that I can, know how I'm doing and all of that stuff, that's going to be important for them, right? But if they're like, well, right now I just kind of manually do it and I do it after a project's complete or something like that, right? You just got to keep that in mind. And also, like I said, asking these questions can help them to start thinking about the future. Like, well, maybe I need to incorporate this. Even if I'm not doing it now, I would like to have to think about a CRM that can hold space for that in the future. Okay. So think about that as well. And then number six is like communicating via text, right? Text messaging is the way. And is that something that's important to you, right? For your audience as a coach, do you want to communicate with them via text messages or do you not? Because if you do, then you need to find a CRM, right, that will enable them and allow them to have text messages in the first place, if that's what they want to do. If they don't want to do that, then fine, we can move on. So the next question too is, are you going to get people to get on a calendar and to book a call? And why is this important? Well, because if that's a person, and I see this a lot in coaching industry, their main mechanism for selling things, especially high ticket, is getting people to book a call, right? Before people spend thousands of dollars, they want to talk to you. They want to fill you out. They want to see how you are. They want to get to know you. Are you knowledgeable? How do you present yourself, right? So booking a call allows the prospect to get to know you that way. And why is this important? Because then you're going to need to find a scheduling system that can either integrate with their CRM or it already has it built in. Okay, so a lot of platforms now are starting to make sure they're adding these in, but there's lots of popular tools that are awesome and they're doing good for scheduling and they integrate very well with almost all CRMs. But again, this is good to know because some CRMs just already have that built in, right? And if they're already using a certain software and they want to use everything in an all-in-one, well, right, if that's part of their strategy for booking a call, you can have a CRM that encompasses what they need, right? And then obviously their budget. If they're newer, they're not going to have a big budget to have all the bells and whistles. If they're a little more advanced, then they probably will have the budget. But just because they have the budget, make sure you get these questions answered that it gives them their needs, right? That so you're not just coming in and giving a recommendation because it's your favorite thing and you like using it. For example, I am an Infusionsoft certified partner. I've been a partner for years. I still like the tool, I still use it. Do I always recommend that to clients? No, it really depends on what their needs are, right? If their needs are these questions that I've just shared with you on their budget, that's going to really help determine um, to give me the recommendation that's best for them. And that helps to build trust because they know that I'm here looking out for their best interest. I'm not here to help raise their pockets or lower their pocket, all this other stuff. I'm here to make sure that you have a system that you own and that you're in charge of and that it's going to work for you and it's going to help you get to the next level in their business. So that's it for today's video. If you like this content and you like this video and you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I also write more about being a virtual assistant in the digital marketing field on my blog at marketingtechmama.com/blog. Until next time.